You, Yale and Elizabeth, and welcome everybody. It's Jeff from Yale Tours, and since 1986 we've been connecting people to Israel and the Jewish world. We are the official travel partner for Hadassah trips to Israel. All of the 2023 Hadassah trips are up on our website, so check those out. We are the home of the Traveling University, featuring outstanding scholars such as Professor Stephen Burke, Professor Natan Meir, and Professor Yale Strom, who's joining us this evening with Elizabeth Schwartz. The two of them recently returned. Actually, I was there as well from an amazing trip to Morocco, and we've got some great trips planned in the coming year that we'll talk about in a little bit. But of course, this evening we're coming together for a lovely concert featuring music from two destinations, not completely random. The truth is we have tours to both places coming up in the coming year, and we're going to get a little bit of a sample from both destinations, one being Argentina, the other being Croatia.
Elizabeth and I are leading a wonderful tour to Argentina, focusing obviously on Jewish culture and history. And Argentina has had and still has the largest Jewish population south of the United States, the Southern Hemisphere, almost 250,000 Jews, the vast majority, probably 90%, living in Buenos Aires, the capital city. And many of those Jews, their ancestry is like my ancestry. So those, the second and third generation Jews that are living there now, the first generation came from Eastern Europe, and a large group from Poland. And what's interesting about this tune we're about to play is it's a tune that talks about Poland and specifically Bialystok. But we know that when we think of Argentina, we think of tango, and tango coming from the Plata region. So Buenos Aires, really Montevideo, Uruguay, and the national dance of Argentina, of course, a dance that people love all over the world. In the 20s and the 30s, the tango started to get popular. People are buying records, hearing it on the radio. And one of the biggest purveyors of tango in Europe happened to be Jews that went from Poland to Argentina, played for a while, learned it, went back to Poland. And so some of the biggest tango writers, composers, lyricists in Poland and in Europe, but particularly Poland, were Jews. So there's this interesting connection. So we're going to play a Yiddish tango. And so it's combining the world of Argentina and Poland.
And like a lot of the music and a lot of the, well, some of the language we'll encounter on our trip to Argentina, it's in Yiddish. So wait, don't do that, please.
Oh, okay.
So I'll tell you first the English translation of what I'll be singing: a lament, a cry on the Jewish street. They're going to make a ghetto, but it's not as a joke. In the Bialystok ghetto, a lament, a cry. In the Bialystok ghetto, how heavy is my heart? We sit and we wonder what will become of us here. They beat and torment us. On the street, we wear the yellow patch on our lapel. They send us to work, and right away we get a pass. And if we don't want to accept it, they cruelly beat us. People take a stroll in the street, and the policeman shouts at them, and he indicates with his finger that the commander is coming. The ghetto market is a paradise. One can get everything in the world, the tastiest dishes, but where does one find the money? Without a Bialystok ghetto, we will be happy. Without a Bialystok ghetto, will we ever live to see it? So you're going to hear this music now, and it's not going to make you think of Poland, but now you know the story of the song. And of course, it's in Yiddish. I'll start it.
Mm-hmm.
Yomer Geschrei auf der jiddische Gas. Men geht a Ghetto machen, aber nicht auf kein Spaß. In dem Bialystok Ghetto, Yomer Geschrei, in Bialystok Ghetto, wie das Herz tut mir weh. Wir sitzen later euch Nacht. Men schickten sie der Arbeit gehen, denn der Krieg in gleich erscheint. In Tome will man nicht kein kriegen, mehr geschmissen ganz weit. In dem Białystok Ghetto, Jungen geschrei. In Białystok Ghetto, wie das Herz tut mir weh. Wir sitzen in Märklen, was wird von uns da werden? Menschen lacht und lacht euch der Gas, mit der Latte euch naht. Menschen gehen in Gas spazieren, schreit euch sei der Polizian. Der beißt sie mit die Finger, als es geht der Stadtkommandant in dem Białystok Ghetto. Junge geschrei in Białystok Ghetto, wie das Herz tut mir weh. Wir sitzen in Märklen, was wird von uns da werden? Schlag und laut durch den Gas, mit der Latte euch in Nacht. In Ghetto Nacht ist gar nicht, kriegt alles heute Geld, in die besten Erfolge. Na, wie nennt man Geld in dem Białystok Ghetto? Junge geschrei in Białystok Ghetto, wie das Herz tut mir weh. Wir sitzen in Märklen, was wird von uns da werden? Schlag und laut durch den Gas, mit der Latte euch in Nacht. Und auf Białystok Ghetto werden wir glücklich sein. Und auf Białystok Ghetto wieder bleibt man scheint zu sein. In dem Białystok Ghetto, Junge geschrei. In Białystok Ghetto, wie das Herz tut mir weh. Wir sitzen in Märklen, was wird von uns so werden? Schlag und laut durch den Gas, mit der Latte euch in Nacht.
Hey, I'll act as your surrogate audience for today. Beautiful. All right, I don't want to interrupt your flow. You can keep going. Maybe a couple more songs, and we'll stop. And of course, if people have questions for Yale and Elizabeth, you can always post those in the Q&A, and we'll get to a couple questions after the concert.
So here's something that's interesting. We'll stay with Argentina, and then before we go, we'll do something about Croatia. So
Can I say something though?
Yeah.
Can I interrupt you for 1 second?
Yeah.
I just want to mention, on our tour of Argentina, we'll of course be making music, but one of the things that we always love to do when we are leading these Ayala tours is working with local musicians, having them give us private concerts. You get to meet them, you get to meet friends of ours. And I'm really excited because the musicians who are going to be joining us in Argentina for our big special, gala concert, are really two of the most extraordinary musicians in the country, let alone they are super, super well known throughout the klezmer world.
Oh, definitely. Cesar Lerner
and Marcelo Mogalevsky.
Yes.
Between the two of them.
Lerner Mogalevsky, right. Between the two of them, they play like 30 instruments. Literally, they'll come and so they'll play a concert and then we'll join them.
We're going to crash. We'll crash them.
So it gives you an opportunity to ask, to meet them, asking questions about their lives, livelihood, Jewish, Yiddish, and, which is often when you're in a stage and you're at a formal concert, but we don't get to know the musicians, you often leave with questions. So this tune, what's interesting about this tune is Elizabeth's going to read you, this is a tune that actually came from Eastern Europe, but this shows you how things moved over. So we're going to play it, and it's funny, we just recorded it this past summer in a small town in Moravia, in Czech Republic. So Elizabeth's going to read you the Yiddish and then what the English is, but we're going to do it the version that we first know. But this is a song that was sung in the Jewish settlement of Moisesville, which means, the village of Moses. And there's still Jews there. We'll have a wonderful lecture about it and see and hear about it. We're not going to be specifically going, if you're asking, only just because the logistics of getting there are not so easy. But anyhow, here it is. It's called Moisesville.
You want me to speak it or sing
Yeah.
it?
Well, if you want to try to sing it.
Well, I'll sing it without my guitar for a moment. It's a radio spielt tangos von Eulen wo spaziert. Dat Zeilen Weibel meisters was in Städtel hat passiert. Bei wellem wird der Knoien, bei wemmens wird sein Abriss. Und wemmen hat sich reitig verbrennt, denn der Knisch in Moisesville, mein klein Städtele. Moisesville, mein schön Heimele. Bist das jiddische Medina, bist das Stolz in Argentina, Moisesville. So that's just a sample lyric. It's a radio plays tangos for the audience out for a stroll. The women are telling tales of what is happening in town. Who is getting engaged, who is having a bris, and who burned their knishes on Friday. You're in a Jewish state, you are the pride of Argentina, Moisesville. So we just recorded this exact same melody, which we know as the Vishnitzer Niggin. So it's very common that well-known Yiddish melodies would be taken by other communities. Mein Städtele Bells was also Mein Städtele Yacht, depending on what country you were in. And this is a song about Simchat Torah. Around the world, every Jew is happy. The rabbi sits like a king. The Hasidim love him, singing and yelling, stretching their hands around the dishes, grabbing all the crumbs. Dance in the circle, every Jew is happy. The sexton recites Mizmor David with a beautiful voice. The Hasidim love him, drinking a toast, dance like a drunkard, laugh like a jokester, eat all the kreplach. Interesting, all of these songs have something to do with food, right? Sing in the prayer room, every Jew is joyous. The synagogue trustee reads ethics like a wise one. The Hasidim love him, drinking a toast, rich as a butcher, poor as a pauper. Grab all the food. So that saying, Moisesville, we know as this. Ach, teurer auf der Welt ist jeder hier freilich. Der Rebbe setzt oben an der Säule am Melech. Die Chassiden lieben ihn, singen und schreien. Stellen die Hand am Teller rein, fragen alle, die schreien. Tirai, 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 oi, oi, tirai, 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 oi, oi, tirai, tirai. Tanz, 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 tanz in dem Rot ist jetzt in die Freiluft. Der Schame singt bis David mit der schönen Stimme. Die Chassiden lieben ihn, trinken am Bachain. Tanz die Stücke noch, wir sitzen jetzt in aller Kreppe. Tirai, 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 oh Gott, tirai, tirai, to sing. Tirai, 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 oh Gott, tirai, tirai. Sing, 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 der voices yet the play check. The gobble ain't give the oi, this is oi, be a chacham. If I see them leaving, taken a lachai. Like we are captain, hiding from all of the stories.
Oh, right, 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 right. Oi, oi, right, 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 right. Oi, oi, right, 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 right. Oi, oi, do we have time for one more? I guess
I would say, well, are you gonna do one more from Argentina, or move over to Croatia?
Why don't we do one from Croatia? How's that?
Beautiful, absolutely. And
Okay.
I'll say before you do, I'll put into the chat link if people are interested in the Croatia trip. That's actually selling out very quickly. That's a private yacht. We're going around Croatia in a private yacht. It's about half sold out already, and we've got an early bird that ends in just a couple of days. So if people are interested, please check out the information on our website soon.
You know, and I would just say about that trip, you know how it's so funny, like when you're pregnant, well, I don't know if you know this, Jeff, but when a woman is pregnant, all of a sudden she starts seeing other pregnant women. If you break your leg, you start seeing other crutches around you. So I'm starting to see all of these things coming up about Croatia in the news. First of all, they're the newest Schengen nation.
Yeah,
so
right.
by the time we're there, they'll be taking euros because they're switching over their currency.
Yeah.
Also, we just saw an article about a famous vineyard there. Unfortunately, I believe we may be stopping there on this tour.
Right.
And the rest of the time, aside from the ground tour, we'll be on this beautiful private cruise ship that will be taking us from port to port, and we'll get off every day, and we'll have music, and both on the boat and in town. And I'm very excited. We're going to have wonderful adventures.
Right, and just the Croatians, for those who are possibly thinking of joining us, the interesting aspect of the Jewish history culture there is it was part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and it was kind of this connective tissue between Central Europe and the Ottoman Empire. It once was part of Yugoslavia, as we know, and then became its independent country in 1992. And but there's some Ottoman influence there. And of course, the Austro-Hungarian, there's Hungarian influence. In fact, there are Jews that their roots from Hungary, but there's also an Italian influence. And one of the families that I hope that you will meet are friends that I've known for many decades in Rijeka. And they would, yes.
Okay, we grab this
right.
photo.
And they sent their kids to an Italian school in Rijeka. So they speak English and Italian and Super Croat.
So
and
this is
Elizabeth,
a photo that's on our dining room wall. I don't know if you can,
I'll just get
I'll
close.
put it up close so you can see
yeah.
it. All right, you see the girl in that?
We'll meet her.
We're gonna go see her.
Only she's a bit bigger these days. So anyhow, that's the interesting about Croatia. So split so Dubrovnik, Sephardic Jewish culture, split Sephardic, but also Ashkenaz, Rijeka, Ashkenaz. So that's the interesting thing. So this little song, the song is just called I Can Hear the Tambourine. You'll hear the polka feel to it. And so also again, coming from Central Europe. So it's quite the melting pot, culturally, linguistically, and certainly musically when we go to Croatia. Okay, so.
Is that a good tempo?
There you go, a little ditty.
Hey, beautiful.
That one would hear, and of course, as I said, influenced by Austro-Hungary culture. So, what else? Should we do one more tune for you? Something just
I would love one more tune. Before we do, I feel remiss that at the beginning I asked you a question, and I didn't ask one of Elizabeth. And Elizabeth, just for those that aren't familiar with you and your background, often in our promotion materials we always write you as the Edith Piaf of Yiddish. Can you tell me how you came to get that moniker? Where did that first come from?
You know what? I'll be honest. It came from a review of a CD that we did. We're recording artists, so we are on the Naxos World Arc Music UK label, and so that was a very, very flattering, hopefully not terribly misguided music critic. And if you say something nice about an artist, they'll milk it. So that. But since that time, we do tour often. This past year for Yacht, or in 2022, I should say, for Yacht, we led a Sephardic culture tour to Spain and Lisbon, and we led the Morocco tour. And that was only 2 of the 6 times that we were out of the country making music and recording on one of those trips. So we do a lot of traveling. And after March, I'll be able to say that I've given concerts on every continent except Antarctica.
Well, right. It's not too late. We'll work on an Antarctica trip.
I'm in.
Right. Well, I can Let me just say, having traveled with you both, of course, I knew you before we started, even before we started working together. But having traveled with you both in Morocco, having that incredible depth of knowledge that you both have, and musical depth of knowledge, really is such an added value to traveling together. And I know was so deeply appreciated by the people that we traveled with. And I hope if people are interested in finding out more about either trip, please do let us know. It'll be Argentina in March, Croatia in October. And of course, you can find out all of the details about this and lots more on our website, yacht.com. And why don't you guys play us out with one more tune, and we'll wrap up here.
We'll do one that you know. And I would like to say that we do tend to get you singing along, and we generally will have one or two group nigunim, as we call them, wordless melodies. This one has words though, and you can sing with us because you probably know it. Now, what's interesting about this, we were talking about music traveling. No one knows who wrote this melody. Every group in Eastern Europe claims it as their own. So it could be Jewish, could be Romani, could be from somewhere else. We just don't know. But that's why everybody sings it, right? Steht der Woche ohne Tracht und Tracht der ganze Nacht. Wenn zu nehmen und nicht verschämt, wenn zu nehmen und nicht verschämt. Tumbala, 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 Lele so sein. Nee, doch will beide Flecken, wo's Kind wachsen und wecken, wo's Kind können und nicht durchfällen, wo's Kind weinen und tränen. Tumbala, 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 Na, ich hab Woche, wo's das zu pflegen, verstehen, warten und wegen. Lieber kennen und nicht ein Fern, ohne Herz im Denken, weinen und tränen. Tumbala, 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 spiel Balalaika, Tumbalaika, let it so sein. Tumbala, tumbala, tumbalaika, tumbala, tumbala, tumbalaika, tumbalaika, spiel Balalaika, tumbalaika.
Hey.
I hope you
Yeah. Oh, I was singing along. Luckily for everyone else, I was singing on mute. Yale and Elizabeth, thank you both so much. Thank you everybody for joining us. If you have any questions about travel with Yale and Elizabeth or upcoming trips with Ayala Tours, of course, feel free to reach out to us or find more information on ayala.com. Wish everybody well, a good, happy, healthy new year. And we'll be in touch. All right. Thank you so much. Shalom, it's Jeff from Ayala Tours. Hope you enjoyed that video. Remember to catch all of our creative content by subscribing to our YouTube channel.